Princess Kira stood in the center of the gleaming command chamber, her violet eyes blazing with barely contained fury. The assembled delegates from 7 different worlds cowered before her imposing figure, their various forms of alien physiology, betraying their fear despite their attempts at diplomatic composure. "You call this a peace treaty?" Her voice echoed through the crystalline walls of the orbital station, each word sharp enough to cut through the recycled atmosphere. "This pathetic document is nothing more than a surrender disguised as diplomacy. The Galactic Council expects my people to hand over our most sacred mining worlds for what? Empty promises of protection from raiders who work for half of you anyway." The Altonian ambassador, his blue-scaled head lowered in submission, attempted to speak. "Your Highness, if we could just discuss the terms." "Silence." Kira's forearms gestured dramatically, her ceremonial armor catching the light from the artificial star that powered the station. 3 generations of my ancestors fought to keep those worlds free from exploitation. Now you dare suggest we simply gift them to the highest bidder? The audacity astounds even me, and I have seen the depths of galactic stupidity. Commander Vale of the Terran Federation watched from the back of the chamber, maintaining the stoic expression that had served him well through countless diplomatic missions. He had heard stories about Princess Kira of the Nexari Empire long before this meeting. Her reputation preceded her like a solar storm. Tales of her fierce independence and razor-sharp intelligence, spreading across star systems faster than hyperspace communications. The princess continued her verbal assault on the assembled diplomats. "The Centauri Collective thinks they can intimidate us with their fleet numbers. The Vegan Republic believes their economic threats carry weight. And the Crystalline Communion assumes their ancient wisdom grants them authority over younger species." She paused, allowing her gaze to sweep across each delegation. "You are all mistaken." Her eyes landed on Vale, and something in her expression shifted almost imperceptibly. The commanding officer felt an odd sensation, as if he were being evaluated by a predator who had suddenly become curious rather than hostile. Their eyes met across the chamber, and for a moment that stretched like an eternity, the princess fell silent. "However," she continued, her voice notably softer, "perhaps there are those among you who possess actual honor." Her gaze lingered on the human delegation. The Terran Federation has remained notably quiet during these proceedings. Do your people have nothing to say about this mockery of justice? Vale stepped forward, his military bearing evident in every movement. Your Highness raises valid concerns. The proposed treaty does seem heavily weighted against Nexari interests. Perhaps we should examine why the mining rights are so crucial to the other parties involved. The other ambassadors shifted uncomfortably. The Nexari mining worlds contained the only known deposits of quantum crystals in this galaxy sector, materials essential for faster-than-light travel. Without them, interstellar civilization would collapse back to generation ships and centuries-long journeys between stars. "Finally," Princess Kira said, and Vale caught what might have been approval in her tone. "Someone willing to acknowledge the obvious. Commander Vale, is it not? Your reputation for straightforward dealing precedes you, as does yours, Your Highness, though I must admit, the stories hardly do justice to the reality." A slight smile tugged at the corner of her mouth. "Oh? And what stories would those be?" "That you once personally led a fleet against marauder raiders to protect civilian transports from 3 different species. That you refused a marriage alliance with the draconian hegemon because you found their environmental policies morally reprehensible. That you learned 17 different languages just to negotiate directly with various planetary governors without translators." The princess actually laughed, a sound like silver bells in the wind. "You have done your research, Commander, though I suspect you left out the less flattering tales. Those seemed less relevant to our current situation." The chemistry between them was becoming obvious to everyone in the room. The Altonian ambassador cleared his throat nervously. Perhaps we should return to the matter at hand? Princess Kira's expression hardened again, but when she looked at Vale, her voice remained measured. Indeed, Commander, what does Earth propose? As an alternative to this travesty? Vale had been hoping for this opening, a graduated access system. The quantum crystals are indeed crucial for galactic commerce, but the Nexari deserve fair compensation and guarantees of sovereignty. We propose a consortium approach where mining rights are leased rather than transferred, with profits shared based on actual output rather than projections. Interesting. Continue. Furthermore, each participating government would contribute to a joint defense force specifically tasked with protecting these worlds from raiders or external threats. The Nexari would maintain ultimate authority over their territory, while ensuring the galactic economy remains stable. The other ambassadors began speaking at once, voicing objections and counterproposals. Princess Kira raised one hand, and immediate silence fell over the chamber. The Terran proposal has merit, she announced. We will recess for 6 hours while I consult with my advisors. Commander Vale, would you join me for a private discussion of the finer details? The request sent ripples of interest through the diplomatic corps. Private audiences with Princess Kira were legendary for their rarity. As the chamber emptied, Vale approached the princess. Up close, he could see that her violet eyes held depths of intelligence and determination that made her even more formidable than her reputation suggested. You realize, she said quietly, that your proposal essentially makes Earth the mediator in this arrangement. Your people would gain significant influence without seeming to grab for power directly. Sometimes the best way to protect everyone's interest is to ensure no single party gains too much control, Vale replied. Including us? Spoken like someone who actually understands both diplomacy and warfare. Tell me, Commander, what makes you think this arrangement would work when traditional treaties have failed for decades? Because it acknowledges what everyone knows but won't say openly. The Nexari hold all the real power here. These other governments are trying to take it through legal manipulation instead of honest negotiation. Your people deserve respect, not clever theft disguised as diplomacy. Princess Kira studied him for a long moment. You know, Commander Vale, when I entered this chamber today, I expected to spend the afternoon explaining why we would be withdrawing from the Galactic Council entirely. Instead, I find myself considering a proposal that might actually work. I hope that means the negotiations can continue. Oh, they will continue. But I suspect they just became far more interesting than anyone anticipated. Her smile was both promise and warning. Shall we discuss the details over dinner? I find I am suddenly quite curious about Karen perspectives on interstellar law. Vale smiled back. I would be honored, Your Highness. As they walked toward the princess's private quarters, both realized that what had begun as a diplomatic crisis might have just taken an entirely unexpected turn.